Hi there, it's Megan with Megan Makes Cupcakes, and today I'll be teaching you guys how to make the most decadent chocolate mint mini cakes. And I have to admit that chocolate and mint is one of my absolute most favorite flavor combinations. So let's get to making these delicious cakes. You're going to need a Fat Daddy-O Dingdong pan right here. You're going to need some little mini cake boards for our mini cakes, and then these are mini chocolate cakes that we made. You're going to need some mint frosting with a large tip, 3 tablespoons of softened butter, 2 tablespoons of light corn syrup, a teaspoon of vanilla, 3/4 cups of mini chocolate chips or regular chips, and some crushed up thin mint cookies. Alright, let's get started. So to make our mini chocolate cakes, I use this Dingdong Fat Daddy-O pan, but you could also use other mini cake pans if you would like. And so to make the cakes, I use my favorite chocolate cake recipe, which I will list below, or you could use a cake mix if you'd like. And then I just butter these really well and flour them like I would with regular cake pans. Now we're just going to take our mini cake and we are going to cut off the top domed part so that it can lay flat. And what we're going to do is we're going to want to use our flat part as the top layer so that it's really smooth. And then we can just cut this in half. It doesn't have to be exact. Then we have our 2 different layers separated there, and we can eat this later. Okay, so now we're just going to take our cake, and like I was saying, we're going to put the more uneven layer on the bottom, and we're going to put on our little mini cake board. So it has something to adhere to, and that way you don't have to move it later after you've frosted it and it's all messy. So now you're going to take your mint frosting and you're just going to make sure that you distribute the frosting evenly, and you want to make sure it's at the edges but not too far out because you don't want to squeeze too much, but just enough so that we can put those cookie crumbs around the edges. Okay, so you're going to take your other layer and put it on top. Isn't that really cute? Okay, and now we're going to take those cookie crumbs and we're just going to grab it on both sides, and then it makes it really easy to just dip it in those cookie crumbs. Okay, perfect. You can do it until you get the look that you want, and then just dust off any of those extra cookie crumbs. Move that to the side. And then we have that all put together. Okay, now we're just going to put more frosting on top because you want to make sure you have enough cake to frosting ratio, otherwise it's dry and nobody wants that. So you're just going to coat the top because we're going to be covering this with ganache. Perfect. And now we have that all set. We're going to make our ganache to put on top. Okay, so we have our chocolate chips, butter, corn syrup, and vanilla. And we're just going to pop these all into the same bowl and microwave them on high for 30 seconds at a time and stirring until it comes together smooth. Okay, so I ended up microwaving this for about a minute altogether, and honestly I could have microwaved it for less. I did it 30 seconds the first time around and stirred it, and it pretty much completely melted all the way. So just be careful when you look at it that you're not over microwaving it. But so you can tell this is pretty runny now. We're going to let it set up a little bit more so it's not quite as hot, but we also put our cake in the freezer so that when we do put this melted chocolate glaze on top, our frosting won't completely melt. So we'll be back when this is a little bit firmer to show you the results. Okay, so our cake's been in the freezer for about 15-20 minutes, and our chocolate topping has gotten a lot thicker. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to start out making a pool of chocolate on top of the cake, and then from there we can let it pool down the edges. Some might do so naturally, but you can also use your spoon to kind of direct it and make it look drizzly. Just push the chocolate down the side. You don't want to push it too much, otherwise it will pool a lot on the bottom. But you just kind of want to do it around the edges and get the chocolate everywhere so it's covering the whole thing. Who doesn't love chocolate and mint? I think it's one of my absolute favorite flavor combinations. And then, if you want to add a little pizzazz to that, you can take a Ghiradelli's chocolate and open up that bad boy and put it on top. And that just is a perfect topper for the perfect mint chocolate dessert. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and we'll see you again next time.